city commission races. Going numerical order, in the way we always do it, we have the incumbent speak first. The incumbent for District 1 is Jimmy Weekley. You'll have 3 minutes, Jimmy. Oops. Go ahead, Jim.
Thank you very much. And, 4 years goes by really fast. It seems just, yesterday that I was here speaking to Hometown PAC and to the residents. And here I am again. And you put confidence in me 4 years ago by electing me back on the City Commission as the District 1 City Commissioner. And I told you at that time that I would be your voice on the City Commission. And it started off right away when the city decided they wanted to close the Francis Street gate to the cemetery. I stood up and fought to keep that gate open so our residents and our citizens and our visitors could all enjoy our cemetery, keeping the availability for the bicycles to traverse through the cemetery. You asked for a strategic plan. Well, we have a strategic plan. And thanks to Mary Beth McCulloch, who was the chairperson of the Strategic Planning Committee, we've got it done. And now the city is in the process of budgeting many of those items that are in the strategic plan so we can move forward in the future for our community. The city has many vendors that we do business with, and it was found out that a lot of the vendors don't provide equal benefits to their employees. I sponsored an ordinance that requires any vendor that wants to do business with the city of Key West will have to provide equal benefits to all citizens, whether they're gay, lesbian, the same rights that are given straight couples will have to now be given to same-sex couples that work for those firms. We're not finished. We have a ways to go. And one of the big issues that's facing this community is whether or not to do a study on the widening of the channel. Since day one, I've been opposed to widening of the channel, and I will continue to be that way. We all know we have one of our more popular events is people riding bicycles. Well, the city does not have a bicycle master plan. I'm proposing that we move forward from this day and start putting together a bicycle master plan for the citizens of Key West to provide bicycle routes and require our city buses to have mechanisms on their buses where people can place their bikes. Living in District 1, which is probably the most affected district in the entire city, we have one of the biggest problems, and that is parking. Our residents come home in the evening and they have nowhere to park. I proposed, unfortunately it was defeated, a residential parking permit program. I haven't given up. I will bring something back in the future. The city now is in the process. Myra, who was our Department of Transportation manager, has retired. So the city now is in the process of looking for a new transportation manager. I'm being told that I'm up, so let me just end with this real quick. And that is that, thanks to Hometown PAC for giving me 3 minutes to speak here. I'm asking you to give me 3 years so I can be your voice on the City Commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Next up is our announced candidate, Tom Milone. Tom, 3 minutes.
Thank you all for coming. And this campaign, every campaign, you usually hear about the same issues. You hear about residential parking, and you hear about, well, of course, let me just say, I wore the shirt on purpose, so there's no doubt as to where I stand on the dredging issue, so I don't have to say too much on that. I would just like to let you know that during this campaign, in addition to talking about the issues that you commonly hear about, I'm going to be emphasizing public safety. And I think many of you know where I'm coming from on this issue. 4 years ago when I was running, there was a very unfortunate incident, but even before then I was always concerned about public safety. And during the course of the campaign, I'm going to be talking about the need to enhance public safety. We need more and brighter street lights. We need to convert to LED lighting. It's brighter and it's cheaper. We need, and I know this is controversial, we need security cameras in partnership with the private sector. because the police cannot be everywhere, and very often people are targeted who are walking alone, and I know that one from experience. And I also know from experience that I know the value of cameras, because we didn't have it available in my case, and we had to cut a deal with one of the criminals because there were no eyewitnesses, not even myself, because to this day I still have amnesia as to what took place. So we really need to talk about security cameras. We need crime mapping. There is that software capability so that the public, through your computer or online, on your smartphone, you can tell what crimes are happening around you. We also need to talk about police officer turnover. It seems that every month the chief is swearing in one new officer to replace someone who has gone. Our police department, unfortunately, is a revolving door. There are multiple reasons for that. We also need to talk about there's software for smartphones now. It's called See Something, Say Something. It enables the public to communicate with the police by voice, by text, sending photographs, communicating anonymously if that's your choice. With respect to residential parking, I firmly believe that every resident of the city, whether they live in Old Town or not, should be able to park in a residential parking spot. I also believe that everyone who lives in Old Town should not have to park more than 1 block away from where they live. And I think that the answer lies in directing our tourists to park in city lots, in city parking structures, and then providing them with a shuttle service to and from their lodging. Of course, they're going to have to pay for this, but I think that's the only way we're going to resolve the residential parking problem. We have to get the tourists into the parking structures and onto the parking lots, and not parking long-term on our streets. Right? Okay. And I'll also be talking about diversifying the economy, and of course you know where I stand on dredging. And thank you for coming.
Thank you, Tom. Are there any other people looking to run for District 1? Okay, hearing none. We'll move to, before I do, as usual, the fact that you can hear us is due to Kelly at Audio Video in Paradise, who's been with us from the beginning. Thanks, Kelly. And in case you missed something, you can go to hometownkeyWest.com, run by FloridaKeys.com, who does and watch a video of this. And they're, raise your hand. So, it'll be up in a few days later in the week probably. And then, as always, these videos seem to be invaluable to the media and even candidates. We've seen our videos come back over and over and over sometimes. So watch what you say, I guess. Having nothing to do with that, we'll move to District 3, our incumbent commissioner, Billy Wardlow. Come on up, Billy.
Lower it a little bit. I want to thank Hometown PAC for letting us get together here and introduce ourselves to the newcomers to Key West and the old comers that have been here for a long time, and they know me. I'm from District 3. A few of my accomplishments that I'm very proud of is one, which people get a good little laugh out of, but I think it's touching to a lot of citizens in Key West, is getting the parking meters off of Smathers Beach, which I said I was going to do in the beginning so the locals could enjoy the beach without having to carry a pocket full of quarters. The fire station, we finally got the bids out, and we had 13 contractors bid on it, so those bids ought to be coming to the City Commission in October. And it's something that I'm not doing by myself. It takes the whole City Commission to do it. There's 7 of us up there, and it takes seven of us to vote on it, and we have a good commission that we debate our ups and downs, but at the end, everything comes out smooth, and we still talk to one another at the end of the night when we have to do anything. Other than that, that's all I have to say. Jimmy takes all the time at the meeting, so I gave him the floor tonight, so he has it. And that's all. Thank you very much. If you have anything, remember me, Billy Wardlow, District 3. Thank you very much.
Speaking of time, where's Tony Yanis? Okay, well, thank you, Billy. Anybody else for District 3? Not hearing anybody, we'll move right along. The incumbent in District 6 is Commissioner Clayton Lopez. Clayton?
everybody's telling me, don't be verbose. Everybody's telling me, no, make it short. And it is going to be short because all I can think of is that 4 years ago when I stood up here, there was a lot more excitement because we had naked girls on bicycles. Some of you remember that? So that was one of the fun things. But at that time, that was at the end of a rebuilding term in office for me. That was at the time that we had just finished rebuilding the city after Hurricane Wilma, and we had just started taking on some of the issues that the previous commission had begun. Now, the last 4 years, we actually started implementing a lot of those things, and so we are today facing the actual making it all happen. We're actually putting it together. We're actually doing the work that you want us to do. And I'm glad to be a part of this commission. I don't have a whole lot to say here today. I think that the record speaks for itself. And I think that you guys know who you want representing you. Amen? And all I can say is that I want to be that representative. Commissioner Weekley said too that he wanted to be the voice for District 1, and he wanted to be the voice on the commission. Well, so do I. That was the very first thing I said at the very first forum that I spoke at. And I still feel very strongly that way. I'm a consensus builder, and I like playing that role. So, thank you.
Thank you, Clayton. All right. Is there anybody looking to run for District 6? Is that someone back there? Okay. Before we go on to the mayor's race, I wanted to give a shout out to the great food and atmosphere here at Salute tonight. They've been our partner for a number of years now, and I think it works out pretty well. Oh, Tony. I was just talking about you, Tony. All right, moving along. We're moving to the mayor's race. Our incumbent and current mayor is Craig Cates. Come on up, Craig.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Hometown Pack. It's good to be here again. No, I'm very happy to be here. Been an honor to serve you all for the last 2 terms, 4 years. I thought things in government would move a lot faster than they do, but they don't. And I think a lot of people understand that, but I want to say I had a great commission been working with over the years. We've moved some big projects forward. We don't always agree, but we work it out in the end. Glenn Archer's moving forward, and I'm very proud of that accomplishment and all the support from the community. But now it's important that we make sure it comes in within budget. Now the hard work starts to make sure that happens, and we get a good quality rebuild there and restoration. We got the Truman Waterfront moving forward, and it's important now that we watch the figures on that. We don't build something there that we can't afford to operate in the future. You know, bigger is not always better. It's more important that we have something there that can pay for itself, not pay for itself, but the taxpayers are going to pay for it, but it got to have some type of income along with it. We're doing budgets this time, been in budgets for the last week, 3 days of the previous week, because I won't be here in July, but it's important to be there in the beginning when you go over every line item with the city manager and every department head to know where the money's going. It's easy as the economy comes back, it's easy to expand and want to spend more money there. We see what kind of trouble that got us in a few years ago when the government got so large, and then the economy downturned. What the bind that put us in now, we need to make sure we don't expand too quickly just because our economy is doing well. I want to say the physical responsibility. I've always said, live within your means. You know, don't dream too big. Dream big, but don't dream too big. I just want to say, I've done what I've promised over the years. I stayed consistent. I stayed stuck to my beliefs. I believe in Key West. I believe in the citizens. I believe in a good, viable economy. I want our residents that have been here a long time, generations, to be able to afford to stay here. I want the new people that come here
to enjoy Key West, our arts, our culture, our water. We need to protect that, make it safe, clean, and hope more will come, and the ones that live here will enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. And we did that without any naked girls driving by. But along those lines, is there anybody that is going to challenge the mayor for this election? Seeing nobody. Seeing nobody coming up. Something that it's worth pointing out, I know there's a lot of real political junkies here that are really in tune, but in case you're not, this is a unique election cycle in that the mayor's running for a 1-year term, and the commissioners are running for 3-year terms. That was done, I guess, basically to align the city's elections with the more traditional national and county elections, which makes a lot of sense, but it makes for a bit of an awkward election year. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out, see who comes forward.